So we're vlogging about our Japan trip.
I mean, how many times we got lost? We got lost like 30 times mostly. Every day we got lost, so it's like
we were struggling.
You know.
Well, you know what was nice? If you get lost, we're already home. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
What's the big deal? Just pull over and go to sleep.
What me out was driving that I was worried about, honestly, was just like how big the van was going to be. Because I remember going there and just remembering how small the streets were. And I was like, oh, dang, that's going to suck. Because one, we're driving a right-hand drive car, and then in small-ass streets on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, so I'm going through the pictures here, right? Or after this long plane ride, right? We get off to the airport, and we're greeted with a bunch of Nintendo characters. And then I remember getting the Wi-Fi box.
Oh,
right?
yeah, because Ziegler needed to do the Wi-Fi.
Well, I think that was the best idea ever, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, pulling out money was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, it was difficult to pull out even cash at a certain time.
Well, the issue that we ran into was we were trying to exchange cash. So, like, our first night there, we stayed at a hotel that was, like, down the street from the airport. I think, what was it? The
Narita View.
Narita View. And that had hot springs.
But we didn't go to the hot springs.
We didn't do the hot springs that first
Yeah,
time. No.
But we went to 7-Eleven, and I had to have the egg salad sandwich. I'm looking at the picture right now, right? And
yeah, we didn't do the hot spring because it was like $15 or something.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, we were being cheap.
I mean, I remember, like, I know that I made back my plane flight selling all the parts, but
you guys are crazy.
Like for food and stuff, I don't remember.
Oh, no. I was...
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. But I was just saying, like, the total cost for, like, when we got there, in terms of, like, renting the van, the flight.
Well, I think the van split. I think the van was like $800 for the week, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Between all three of us. And then...
I got the list.
Like $100 a month, or $100 a night, or whatever, but, you know, like gas and stuff was the same price as the U.S., so it wasn't really that expensive, but the tolls were expensive. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think we ended up paying like around like $300 or $400 at the end, something for all the tolls.
But that was a split.
So
yeah, and
the thing too is like that van was a 2-liter, so the tolls were a little bit higher. So if we had done like the shitty little
K-car
campers, I'm sure you could have done it a lot cheaper, you know.
Yeah, but we probably wouldn't have made it up some of those hills.
So I'm going through the pictures, right? So after the first night, we board a bus, and that bus takes us to the train station, and I'm just following Bob, right? And here you guys are trying to figure out where we're going.
So it's that picture with Ziegler having the Yamaha hat, and we're both looking at the train schedule,
right?
Trying to figure it out. And this is the...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Fuck, dude. We jumped on like 3 wrong trains, I feel like.
So the thing that fucks me up and like is kind of hard is that they have a set schedule when the train comes, and it's like to almost a second. If you jump in like 30 seconds before, that's the wrong train. Like, that's how quick they have shit going. So, like, I think we got on 3 wrong trains as we were going out there because we're like, oh, it's this time. So, and, dude, it's been like, what was it, 2011 was when I stopped studying Japanese, so... And the reading and writing was just a pain.
Well, you were asking people, and I think they were just agreeing with you. Right? You were asking for directions, and I don't know.
Yeah, some of them were like, oh, I don't really know how to get there. Or, I think this is the right way. Sometimes, I mean, people just go on their own routes, and they kind of don't pay attention for anything else. So, yeah, that was...
Yeah, so going through the pictures, we finally get there, end up at a KFC, We walk under a bridge, and we're following this little river path, right? And then we finally get to, what's the place called? Japan Campers or something?
Oh yeah, they were dope.
And then
Ziegler, how'd you find them?
Oh yeah, that was just on the internet.
You just Googled?
internet.
Well, because we were, because we looked at, there's a couple places and stuff, but it was what we were waiting on was like how many people were going, because like everyone was like, oh yeah, I'll go, and there was like 10 people who were gonna go, so we're like, okay, we'll get 2 of these campers, or we'll buy the big one, because they had a real cool one that was like an overhead,
had a bathroom in it, right?
Yeah, fiberglass, like.
The trip. This is our home for about 7 days. Here's the top sleeping quarters.
Yeah, I feel like we could have easily done 4 people in that, and I mean, we've slept in way worse situations. I'm just thinking about all the times that I've been with like Calvin and like Jones going to like drift events or whatever, where we have to ride in the back of the race cars as it's being like flat towed.
Yeah.
So I figured, that's fine, and I was like down for the adventure of it, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, short of like Calvin buying all these taillights and dude, Calvin, you bought so much shit, so much like
USDM space.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, sold all of it. We sold all of it. Okay, so I remember hopping in the van, and who was the first one to drive? Was it John?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah,
that's his hat.
Because I was the one who was only supposed to drive at the time.
Oh, that was happening. Shout out to Japan Campers, right? And then just that feeling of jumping into a right-hand drive, right? And we'd always talk shit when you flick the windshield wipers instead of the signal, right? Because it's windshield wipers is always towards the center, and the signal's towards the right. And when I actually came back to the U.S., I kept hitting the windshield wipers instead of the signal, and I was like, "Fuck!" I had to revert back to USDM.
After we got the van, we started. The first thing we did was go to the freaking up garages.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed, they had some Krager wheels there, which are just wheels, shitty steel wheels you can get at the Pomona swap meet, right? But they're on display.
Krager's now, those aren't steel, those are like those pot aluminum, right?
Oh yeah, it's just like shitty metal, hot metal. It's not even steel. Anyways, yeah, we go to an up garage, and then we stop by a thrift shop with overpriced things, with like Patagonia being costing more than the original price for used stuff. And then we drive by this dealership, and there's nothing but American vans: Dodge van, Ford, Ram.
Not even Dodgy vans. It was like the drive like real shitty minivans.
Yeah,
that was like a Dodge
Caravan.
Calvin's showing the pictures now to is this the first one?
Second up garage. This one's in Tokyo, I think. The main one
I
that we repeated.
This one was the Yokohama one.
Yokohama. Yeah, this is the main hub.
The main hub.
Shitty beams engine, bunch of brakes, bunch of bumpers.
Didn't that have a blue top 4AG in it or something?
Yeah. Or no, it had a 20 valve with a blue valve cover. Yeah, and then upstairs had the Gran Turismo set up with motorcycles on top.
Yeah.
And then
body kits and all the body kits at the top, very, very top.
Yeah, and they had the wheels at the separate little section across the street, right? And then later we go out to the, what's this called?
The Daikoku
Daikoku parking lot, and we meet up with Junya.
Yeah,
right?
so
and
June's our like resident A86 friend over there that like was super nice and helped us out, and we got a chance to see some real nice like JDM stuff. And Ziegler, talk about the RX-7 you guys saw over there, that crazy RX-7.
This one?
Yeah, the one that was like
the red one, slammed.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was cool, but the coolest thing was that USDM Forester that dude had.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I was showing him my pictures of Forester.
Mm-hmm.
He had Illinois plates on it too.
Oh, on the back, yeah. I think he did have Illinois plates.
USDM turn signals and all that
Yeah.
stupid stuff.
But he had the ST bumper too.
Yeah, but at that time, that FCRX7, I remember you guys both were talking shit because, like, he walked up to the car, and it was like stone cold because it was chilling there for like an hour at least. Came up and just turned it right on, no smoke, and just drove off. And all I could hear you guys saying was like, "Oh man, that's bullshit! Like, how the fuck is that car turning on the first try? Like, it turned on like a Civic."
Well, you know, Japanese take care of their cars, so.
Yeah, that or it had a beam swap in it.
Yeah, it had a beams. Yeah, so we meet up with June, and then remember we go eat at Jonathan's?
Oh yeah.
Jonathan's Coffee and Restaurant, right? And it was already like, what, 2 a.m. or something?
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
It was late.
So we eat at Jonathan's, and we sleep in the parking lot, right? Or we sleep
we across the street at that Family Mart.
Okay,
yeah, we went to the Family Mart and slept there. But it was funny because Ziegler wanted to go over there and try some like authentic Japanese, like hole in the wall, Anthony Bourdain style thing, and then June's like, "Oh, I know where I'm gonna take you guys," and takes us to a Jonathan's, which is basically like a Denny's over there.
Well, it was better than a Denny's, but it was more like a Marie Callender's.
There you go. See,
with this.
Some are cool because they have all you can drink, so you just like go up and you can drink as much like coffee and stuff as you want. Just get the little cup.
Mm-hmm.
And like loose leaf tea. Oh, you know what was nice about the Family Mart? You can go to the bathroom and there's always a public restroom. You go to 7-Eleven here?
Yeah.
No way. The restroom's always out of order.
So that was another thing that I was like tripping on because I've never done that before is go like in a car for an extended period of time. It was where we're going to poop and like shower. And June was telling us, oh yeah, any Family Mart, 7-Eleven, Lawson's, they have public bathrooms and you're allowed to take them.
So in the van, I slept on the very top with the pop top, and then Job and Bob slept at the bottom. You know, it was probably 10 degrees colder at top, easily, but it didn't smell like ass. So it was worth it. So the first night it was 39 degrees in...
But remember...
How do you say that?
Nakaku.
Nakaku, Yokohama.
Yeah, so... But the nice thing was that the camper lady gave you a little futon mattress to put on the top.
Yeah, it was pretty much like a comforter, right? But whatever, I got used to it.
Yeah, it was a Mazda Bongo.
Yeah.
In case anyone wants to know what we were sleeping in.
That shit was gangster.
Was this the second day?
Yes, that one we were still in Yokohama, and that's where we went to that crane game place.
Like the 4-story, 3-story Sega arcade?
Yeah, because we were going to go to Moon Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Moon Eyes, yeah.
And then, yeah, we finally got to Moon Eyes.
We went to that Yellow Hat, too, right out there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We were trying to kill time. So we went to some kind of car store, Yellow Hat.
To Yellow Hat, and then we saw that Brodozer on, remember the...
Yeah, F-150.
It was an F-150. So, like, Yellow Hat is kind of like, imagine a Pep Boys. So, over in Japan, there's not, like, really a lot of very popular places to get your car serviced. And most of the cars over there are, like, new and really good condition. Like, you don't see any clapped out Tercels or Civics over there. But yeah, we went over there and we found, what is that, like a 4-door F-150, like the 1990s one, the late 90s one?
The Lobo.
He had Lobo? Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, and then we went to the arcade, won some shitty prizes. Bob was trying to win Pokemon, but he kept losing.
Yeah.
And then we ended up at Moon Eyes, remember? And then it was just a bunch of stuff you could get at the Pomona swap meet. A bunch of knickknacks.
And the Mexican blankets, the sarapes in the back that they were selling. A bunch
of Mexican blankets.
For like $30 each.
Right. And then after that, we went to go eat at Moss Burger.
Oh yeah, that was the first time you guys have. Well, yeah, because never been there
No,
before.
I'd eat Moss Burger before. You
Oh.
would eat McDonald's the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. Bob wanted to eat McDonald's the whole time. So yeah, I got pictures of Moss Burger here. What does that say, Bob?
So the first one on the far left is the teriyaki, and then the one is a sanwo chicken. So some side of
Chicken sandwich?
Yeah, and then we have third one is a chicken sandwich, and then the fourth one is the Moss Burger. So they had like a little bit of a chili kind of deal with it, and the portion size was over there like really, really small.
Oh yeah, I had instead of bread, it was a rice patty.
Oh yeah, you had
And then
that
I had
one.
the teriyaki inside. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. What was do you remember, Ziegler, what you got when you first went to Moss Burger with us?
Oh, I don't know. It was just the regular, whatever the popular one is. It's just the rice patty with the.
Yeah, because
burger patty, yeah, and the little sheet of lettuce.
Yeah.
I had Moss Burger when I was in Taiwan before, and that's like all I ate. But that's because we were at a convention and that's all they had. But
Man, remember all we saw were Supras and Skylines? And Bob's like, oh yeah, you don't see Supras out here. And literally, is that a Supra? Like literally Supra, every other picture I posted. It's a goddamn Supra.
A lot of 8.6s too, a lot of like fully restored Corollas.
Yeah. So we head over to the next up garage the next day, and this one's a Riders with like motorcycle parts also, right? That's where we saw that Blitz supercharger.
Oh, for a 4AGE?
Yeah. And then Bob running out, not showing his receipt. Viv got caught stealing steering wheels at Up Garage. But hey, look at this supercharger for a 4AG and we're not going to buy it.
Oh, yeah. I bought like a steering wheel. So we all had like our motives of what car parts we were going to get. And like for me, I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to buy stuff that I can't get here that I'm just going to grab. And then Ziegler and Calvin, very intelligently, ended up saying, nah, we're going to pay for this whole trip on Up Garage shit that they're going to sell. And I think, Calvin, you got really close. If not, you paid for your entire trip with the stuff that you sold.
Oh, more or less. I have the spreadsheet here somewhere.
It's all right. We'll take your word for it, man. But Ziegler ended up selling a bunch of stuff, like Subaru, strut bars, and of course, Hondas aren't freaking popular, especially like my generation that I like.
No, they're popular, Bob. You just need to to hustle, man. We were license plate frames, man. We sold all our license plate frames.
Oh, dude.
License plate frames were the biggest like profit margin.
And they all went to Puerto Rico. All of them. I swear to God.
Well, it's because you guys bought Toyota stuff, and Toyota shit's like really popular.
We're just gonna open up an Up Garage in Puerto Rico next.
Might as well. Just selling license plate frames. Okay, so
shipping containers full of license plate frames there.
So the next day, I think that night we go to a hot springs and we meet up. Were we with June? When we went to the sushi bar?
Yeah, we did meet up with June, but before that, we were trying to sleep outside of a Starbucks.
Okay, so that was
and the reason we were trying to sleep outside of a Starbucks was because Ziegler needed to work on a client project. So Ziegler's a freelance engineer.
Oh man, yeah. So Job was working on his thing. Bob was sleeping the whole time. So I went to go check out some pachinko and like some bookstores and saw some weird stuff. So yeah, we actually the police actually was knocking. We were asleep in the parking lot that night. We went to sleep, and I guess they called the cops on us, right? And I pretended to be asleep, and the cops were just knocking on the window. So, did you answer?
Yeah, I answered because the curtain wasn't fully down, and the police officer like was shining his light, and as soon as like it hit my eyes, I just like woke up, and he like saw me, and he was like trying to speak to me and tell me like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, shit, I don't want to speak too fluent because then they'll know that we know that we're not supposed to be there. So I made up some lie about, oh, we were tired and we tried to rest here because we're going to meet up with June the next day to drive out to Nagoya and like Fuji and all of that. And yeah, so we got in trouble with the police, and they asked for our passports and they told us where to go. But that was off of the highway, so we just drove out to the next 7-Eleven, and I asked the owner if it was cool if we slept there, and he's like, yeah, man, you're good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think John can attest to this. Kelvin sleeps hella fucking fast. And since Kelvin was sleeping on the roof, like, at night, Calvin was snoring so loud that it sounded like one of the big rigs was passing by on the road. And
no problem falling asleep. You know, full day of driving, full of Japanese iced coffee, canned coffee in me. You know, once it hits, man.
Both me and Ziegler were still awake, and we're like, is that Calvin snoring? And it was like a minute since we just stopped talking to him, and he's like, yeah, this fucker's asleep. And it was just like you hit a resonance with the like sheet metal on the bongo, where it would just like vibrate and feel like there was a truck passing by. Like we didn't know if you were snoring or if it was a truck coming by. But yeah.
I know. I just remember having to wake up frequently, having to go pee, so I'd have to step on all these dudes and then get my shoes on, go inside the 7-Eleven, take a piss or shit, and climb back into the van, running over everyone. But yeah, the next day we go to the station, right, to pick up June?
Yeah.
Was that here?
Yeah, that was that one. We were at the Hiratsuka station, just like south of... or maybe this is a little bit more southwest of Yokohama. And you guys wanted to go to the Toyota Museum.
Well, no, we went to Fuji Speedway first, right?
Yeah, we went to Fuji Speedway first. And you guys got to see some, like, drifty stuff.
Yeah, cool track. Big track. And it's right next to Mount Fuji. So you see this nice view of it. Oh.